Syntropic farming, pioneered by Brazilian agronomist Ernest Gosch, is a regenerative agricultural approach that mimics natural forest ecosystems to create highly productive biodiversity. It involves strategically planting a diverse array of crops, including trees, shrubs, and annual crops, in carefully designed patterns and layers. This method harnesses the natural processes of succession, nutrient cycling, and symbiotic relationship among plants to build soil fertility, conserve water, and increase yields over time. Syntropic farming aims to restore degraded land, enhance ecosystem resilience, and provide sustainable food production while minimizing environmental impact. It's a groundbreaking agricultural practice, revolutionizing the way we cultivate food in Kenya. In our journey through the heart of Makueni County, we discovered a farming venture like no other, where traditional methods meet innovative techniques to create a sustainable and thriving ecosystem. Join us as we delve into the world of syntropic farming.
Thank you, Biashara. Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Kilimo na Biashara show. Well, today we are going to explore syntropic type of farming. And what is this? Basically, it's a regenerative agricultural approach, and you have to plant diverse crops in a particular farm. And it has so many principles that guides this. So, shall we go to the farm and learn from the experts what really this syntropic type of farming is? Shall we? Let's go. Bena!
Yes! Karibu sana!
Hello!
Karibu to Kwamosongo farm.
Kwamosongo!
Yes!
How are you?
I'm good. And
it's
you?
A busy day, I see.
Yes, it's a busy day. We are attending to our nursery. Yeah.
So, how are you doing?
I'm good.
I see it's a busy day. What's happening in the nursery?
So here at Kwamosongo farm, we do syntropic agroforestry. Syntropic agroforestry is a farming method that mimics how a natural forest is. So it's built up in succession. So we plant different varieties of trees, fodder trees, fruit trees, but also we integrate it with vegetables, grass. And then, the system itself thrives in, the abundance itself. So by planting close together, that's how the system survives. And also, it also thrives through the process of photosynthesis.
But I'm curious, how did you begin this type of farming, let alone settling to venture into this?
So I studied in the Netherlands and after doing my master's, I did sustainable business and innovations at Utrecht University. And then I was supposed to help big companies to make a transition towards sustainability. But then, when you're in this field, you hear what is happening, like the struggles in climate change and farmers. And of course, also because I already had this land, my grandma doesn't live far from here. So when I was a kid, my grandma had a thriving, like Garden of Eden with a lot of diversity, like fruits and all that. But then, when you go to high school, you don't visit your grandma that often. So after a while, then I visited her, and then, the Garden of Eden that was there when I was a kid, it was no longer there. It was just like a plantation of maize and beans. I was very sad.
Yes, and it was very dry, I can imagine.
Yes, because now, you know, before we never used to feed my grandma. She used to feed us because you go there, you get a lot of fruits. Yeah. And now we had to feed her because if the maize are not doing well, then we have to feed her. So in my mind, at the back of my mind, I knew I wanted to have the same Garden of Eden. When I was also in the university, I had joined a lot of different movements like, permaculture movement and food forestry movements in the Netherlands. It is actually gaining a lot of attention. You realize like this is what our forefathers used to do, and we are very quickly changing the farming method and becoming food insecure. So then I was like, okay, I need to do something back at home.
So before we talk about the nursery, which type of fruits are here, introduce us to this type of farming.
It is 5 acres piece of land. At that time I bought it was 5 acres. Now we've added another acre. It was highly degraded. Like really, nothing was growing here, not even grass. But I sent my money to my mom to buy the land, and then she came to buy. And then when I came, I was so disappointed. I was like, yeah, I know, but you know, it's like nothing was here. But then eventually, being in these movements, there are some documentary you can see that it is possible to transform landscape, like Green Gold documentary from John Liu Nziu. You know, with all this kind of knowledge, I knew it was possible. So in 2020, I came here. I wanted to make a food forest. In the process of soul searching, then I landed into Syntropic agroforestry, which is something, it was designed by Ernst Gosch. In Brazil, he has like a very big farm in Brazil. So, and then, you know, somehow along the way, I realized also in Kenya, there were some people who were doing it.
Bernard, let me cut you short there. I can notice the disparity between the soils here. There is sandy soil, and the one that I'm seeing right here is quite different. How were you able to achieve this?
We've been doing a lot of work on our soil because soil biology is like the core to farming, so every farming. So we use a lot of composting. So we don't do the manure directly, so we compost it. So it gives us also the microorganisms that we need. And also we did the first aqua design that also brought a lot of biomass on the land. So we use also this biomass to cover our soil and make sure that we protect the little microorganisms. And like if you look at also the nursery, if you just open the soil a little bit, you'll start finding all these small organisms like minyongoro, the worms, yeah. Yeah, so it has taken a lot of working on it. Yeah. So we don't use any external inputs, we don't use any chemicals. It's mainly a lot of biomass and locally available materials.
Yeah, so how did you begin? Because I can imagine it took a lot to begin.
This site of ours, it's a demo site, and at the same time it's a living lab where we are also trying out different varieties. So we try a lot of indigenous trees. So like mangoes, it's like we do the indigenous variety. Avocado also we do the indigenous variety. So we have guavas, we have also dragon fruits. But besides that, also we try some other exotic varieties. So we just try and see if it will work.
Yeah. Out of the nursery, we go to the compost now.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Benaso, what do we have here?
This is our composting area. We have 2 types of composting here. This is a vermicomposting. So we use worm, and we have a lot of kitchen waste that comes here. The second type of composting is where we have a lot of animal waste and also plant waste. So like when we chop a lot of materials.
So there are different ways of making compost.
We have two types of composting. So this is vermicompost, and that is what people call it commonly. It's known as lasagna composting. So with the vermicomposting, we are using worms to compost all the kitchen waste, and then we collect worm casts, and then we use it also as a liquid fertilizer. Then on the other side, we have the lasagna type of composting, where we use a lot of animal waste. Like you can see, we have rabbits and we have chicken.
Ah, so the rabbits here also produce waste that you use here.
Yeah. So we try to make sure that we don't have any organic waste in our compound.
And now, what are the benefits of producing your own compost? Because I can imagine, is it an expensive option with a sustainable process, or the other way around?
It is actually the cheapest, because we don't need to buy anything. Everything we have, it's in our compound, and also it's a way of waste management in our compound.
Well, now we know why your farm is truly productive. And from here, where do we go to? We go to the food forest.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We go through here?
Yes.
Okay. I truly can't believe that we are in Makueni County, because look at this. I feel like I'm in the Garden of Eden because we have so many fruits here. This is one of the food forests. So this is the food forest. Tell me about this. Which foods are here?
In our food forests, the design, what we do, we do it in beds, and then we have paths in the middle. So we do the paths and then we mulch the paths so that we don't compact the soil. A basic one is 5 beds. So we have the outer beds are tree beds, and then we have grass lines, and then we have vegetable lines in the middle. The reason why we also plant grass is because of biomass.
Ah, so any type of grass?
We do different grasses. Like here you see we have napier. In other beds, when you go, you'll see we have vetiver grass. In other beds, like down there, you'll find that we have lemongrass. We do have different types of grass. In an ideal conventional farming, when you go to farmers who are doing fruits, they plant every fruit tree at 6 meters, and then they leave the space like that. Yeah. But for us, that space is very, very important. In a 6 meters distance, you find like we have multiple different types of trees. Yes. That have different layers. Yeah. And this is what makes the Syntropic very interesting, because you maximize the use of space that you have.
So when you're growing these crops here, because they are diverse, is there a particular fruit that can be grown in one area, or what is the procedure? When
you look at the tree lines, we also plant vegetables underneath, so during the pioneer stage, and then eventually as the canopy grows bigger, then some of the plants that do not like shade, then they kind of disappear. So this is what we call the succession. So we maximize also on the the vegetable line where you can plant a lot of different vegetables. You can, besides just planting the trees, you also plant vegetable under the tree line. So you see, you get a lot of produce.
Is there a particular structure that you follow when you're growing these trees?
We mix also herbs, because also, you know, herbs are also good pest repellent. So we mix also the herbs because the system also thrives in biodiversity. So if you have one particular plant, they're very vulnerable to pests and also diseases. But if you have different companion plants, then they kind of help each other. And this is the construction that really helps to flourish our food forest. And that's also one of the reasons why we don't need pesticides. So sometimes you will also see like some plants have been attacked, but then it's maybe one in a wide range. So and then eventually they kind of the pest will disappear because it will attack that one, and then going to the next plant it tastes different, and they don't like that. They just want to have like uniform feeding. By having different plants planted together, then you kill the possibility of having insects jumping from one plant to the other. And that is also one of our ways of controlling pests.
With all these crops, how do you manage? Because there are so many and all of them needs attention.
We've created a database, and we have colleagues who work in the farm. They know when to manage what, and then also we have seasonal, we have seasons. So when it comes to planting, you know which season. We do a lot of observation and really helps. So every season we have something to bring to the market.
But now, what are the challenges involved in this? Given that this particular area is semi-arid, it must be very hectic.
When you see this flourishing food forest, it has not always been like this. So we had to go 2.5 years of La Nina. So it was really, really difficult also with the water.
So for the 2 years, what were you doing with it?
We had a lot of struggles with water because we didn't have water at that time. But at least because of the mulching and the kind of planting that we had chosen, trees were able to survive, although they had shed all their leaves. So water is a big challenge. And we see that also with our farmers, because we train farmers on Syntropic agroforestry. So we have a training center here. We went ahead to incorporate community water level management in the entire area. So like water management is very integral to our trainings and also how we work with the community. We have several community water pans around that we are digging all over.
Oh yeah, it's more like giving back to the society.
We've had contacts with the county government. There is some willingness to adopt this, but we wanted to go even more further, because now you see Muranga County has adopted the agroecology policy. So we are hoping to also push our county government to adopt the agroecology policy, because this will also make it possible for our county to prioritize agroecology, and because this is also agroecology. Yeah, but a lot of work we do together with the local community. So there's a lot of willingness from the community. Actually, we don't even do mobilization for them to come for training. They come looking for us because they really want to be trained.
Would you say this type of farming is a game changer? Because I can imagine right now the world is grappling with climate change.
What we tell our farmers when we do the trainings is this is not rocket science, and it is not like a new innovation. This is what our forefathers used to do. Our grandparents knew the value of diversity. They knew the value of planting so many different crops together, and that is why they never complained about food security and nutrition security. So we need to have a more discussion on moving from just looking at food as food, but also how can we give people, how can we nourish our population.
Since you've said this is a game changer, I'm curious about your vision. let's say 10 years from now, where do you see this type of farming?
10 years from now, we have over 5,000 farmers doing Syntropic, and they've transformed their land, which is average between 1.5 acres to 3 acres. So if we have 5,000 farmers doing that, then we will never have to worry about food security in this country.
And do you think this is the future?
We've degraded our soil heavily using monoculture. And also, if you walk around and talk to our farmers, one of the things is they've not been harvesting. So they don't even have their galleries anymore. This is the future where you can harvest throughout the year.
Wow, and what a way to end this section. This is the future, yeah?
Yes.
And from here, where do we go to next? Because we are not yet done, right?
Yes.
To the dryer.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the dryer.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens there. Wow. With all these fruits and crops that are here, I'm really curious to know what has been dried right there at the solar dryer. Let's go see together. So let's see what's here.
This is our solar dryer.
Yes. So what do we have here?
So here we have African leafy vegetables. This is terere and hibiscus and lemongrass. So we had also other vegetables here, but they were taken out in the morning. So this is one of our value addition process. So we'll be drying a lot of herbs and vegetables. So soon you'll see our products in the supermarkets or somewhere in the market.
Oh, we're looking forward to that. Yeah. And do you have some that you've already packaged?
Yes, we have some.
Them here?
Yeah, we have some that we've packaged. So we also have moringa powder. You know, we all do a lot of different leaves.
Okay, let's go see those leaves, like you've put it. Let's go. So what have you dried here?
We have moringa powder, we have chili powder, we also have parsley, but also we've dried several fruits, like several different types of papayas. So we have 2 types of papayas. We are still in the also experimental stage where we are also trying to see how we can dry papayas to the best, to give us the best quality.
And you're doing an amazing job, yeah? And even as we're concluding this, advice to someone who would like to venture into this.
If you have land and you're interested in starting Syntropic, we do have training, so you can get in touch with us. And also, if you have the knowledge, please start as small as you can, and then, you know, from there you will be able to go. So let's not procrastinate, let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for allowing us to come here and give us so much information. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. And thank you for being a part of Kilimo na Biashara show today. And what have you learned today? Because what I've really understood with this particular show, this is a regenerative approach. It's going to be one of the game changers in the agricultural sector because of its contribution into the community, how it's changing. Look at Makueni County. Makueni County is such a semi-arid area, but look at this. Yeah, there's a food forest here, so that is saving them even the cost of manure. They're making their own compost here. So it's an entire integrated system, even in a dry area. You might as well want to replicate that in your farm. See you again next time for yet another exciting Kilimo na Biashara show. See you.